It's taking all the negatives of fiat and making it worse. If anyone's ever seen the guy from the BIS, if you watch the minute, it's not even that long, it's a minute and 40 seconds where he describes, well, of course, we should have control of how you spend your money. It's like, wow. I mean, evil.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have Mark Yusko forecasting the future of Bitcoin and the financial market for the rest of 2022. In the past 2 years, the Fed has printed 50% of all cash in Republic history, which, because the supply has been doubled, devalues the dollar by 100%. This has caused Bitcoin to go up by 100% in the last 2 years. Yusko says that earnings and growth are crumbling. He's also observed the housing prices rising over the past year, even though the quality or efficiency of the houses have not increased. The rise in prices are due to the money people use to purchase houses being extremely undervalued. This happened because the Fed has overprinted the dollar, and now we're starting to feel the full economic weight of it, especially with record high interest rates. Let's listen to this interview with Mark Yusko as he gives us his take on Bitcoin, the crypto and stock market, and what we can expect by the end of the year. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
Currencies don't exist in a vacuum. They exist relative to something else, right? We don't say dollars, we say dollar yen or dollar euro or dollar, Bitcoin. Bitcoin isn't, one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. It's always, that's the case. But we don't spend it in Bitcoin. We spend it in dollars or yen or euros. And, if you're in Venezuela, you had two choices to save yourself, right? You could convert your bolivars to Dash and use that as a payment system, or you can convert to Bitcoin. And you could do some other things, but basically, or put it in Bitcoin. And as the bolivar went down, there's never been a bear market in Venezuela in Bitcoin prices. It's gone up every day. Same thing with Turkish lira or Argentinian pesos. So when the dictators destroy the value of the currency, you need to opt out. And so CBDCs, not only will they be programmable, but they'll be easier to devalue. It's like airline miles. I'm still stupid. I still have my American Airlines card and I get my airline miles because I think I'm going to get free trips. But then you go to cash in a free trip. It's not 20,000 miles. It's not 40,000 miles. I mean, I did one last night, 75,000 miles each way for an economy class ticket. That is pure devaluation.
Yeah.
That was what you told me when I signed up. You told me it was 20,000 for a round trip ticket, 150,000. That's inflation. And China's already got theirs and they're way ahead. I think Russia will be second, interestingly. And I think we'll be a distant third, but I think we will get there. And I think it just makes it more important for everyone to take a portion, not all, but a portion of your wealth and do that. Get it outside into a store of value that you can opt out of the system for a portion of your wealth. And there are other things that you can own that do other things, but Bitcoin in particular has a role as a perfect store of value.
Yusko says that because the Fed can print money out of nowhere, the value of that currency gets cut in two. This is because in the past 2 years, the Fed has created almost half of all the dollars in existence. This is leading to an excess amount of foolishness and leverage in the system and on Wall Street. We're already starting to see countries around the world experience major issues with big banks and consumers not having access to their money.
I think they're trying to slow adoption, which is what regulation has done for centuries. I mean, you think about if you're an incumbent, okay, what happens? You start something, you grow, you become popular, you become dominant, and then what happens? Competition, right? Either because someone innovates in terms of technology or somebody innovates on a business model and you get competition. And if you're the incumbent, what do? You go to your friendly regulator and say, okay, here's some money, create a regulation to stop them. You take this deplatforming idea, right? Kanye says something, and look, I'm a pretty big free speech guy.
Yeah.
I may not like what he said. I may not agree with what he said, but I think he has a right to say it. Right. And I don't believe, I would say I don't believe that he should be deplatformed for that, but I also believe it's a private company right? A bank is a private company. They can choose who their customers. Now, seems to me, again, that's a really bad way to choose. If Kanye says, okay, I'll take my toys and go somewhere else, and he chooses a place to go, there are a lot of people
Going to follow.
I mean, a lot. And they, to your point, will follow and will create a community. And that community will get stronger. So again, if you're the regulators, no, don't do that. Because, that's like arming the combatants. And they're going to now come back stronger. And we don't want a run on the bank, right? The last thing JP Morgan needs is a run on the bank.
Right.
Because they're already over levered. They've already got, they've got to increase their reserves for bad debts because we're in a recession. And so there's gonna be people that don't pay back their loans.
Yep.
Now, are they big enough to handle it because they're making money spoofing gold?
Of course.
Yes. Or doing money laundering. It's like, I think I have this number right. Everyone's like, oh, crypto is used for money laundering. I'm like, really? Let me give you this stat. The banks, the big banks, Deutsche Bank, Credit Suisse, JP Morgan, have paid right, fines equal to $360 billion for money laundering, like admitted money laundering, like, drug cartels and all kinds of bad stuff. They've actually been convicted of and paid. My favorite point though is they never have to admit guilt.
Right.
You pay $2 billion without admitting guilt. I'm like, no, if you paid $2 billion, you're guilty. The thing about regulation, it's literally like squeezing air in a balloon, right? You grab the balloon, the air doesn't leave, it just goes someplace else. So China banned Bitcoin. And what did the exchanges do? They banned exchanges. What did the exchanges do? They picked up and moved to South Korea and Japan. They banned mining. So what did the miners do? They picked up, most of them, still like 20% of the mining still done in China. You all seen that picture of the guy with the miners on his back?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. People are resourceful. But the bottom line is, if America chooses, I will call it the wrong path, which is the path of resistance, as opposed to the path of embracing, then the rest of the world will just have a greater role. And look, I don't want to move right now. I mean, I like living in North Carolina. I like my life. But look, if suddenly you ban the things that allow me to preserve my wealth, I mean, think about this. If all my wealth was in dollars, I got 8.3% less rich in the last 12 months. So the fact that I don't have all my money in fiat, that should be my choice. And the fact that decentralization is here and it's been created because of the flaws in the system. It's not like Bitcoin was created in 3 weeks. It had been worked on for years and it was released intentionally. Decentralization was released intentionally at a time where you had a rallying cry against the badness, right? Why did bankers serve no jail time, right? They did the whole subprime nonsense, created the global financial crisis, not 1 minute of jail time, right? Martha Stewart went to jail.
According to Yusko, all economies and markets will crash as soon as the system's supply of free money is exhausted. Yusko says that inflation is a fallacy that benefits only those at the top of the pyramid. We have the highest wealth and income disparity in the world because the Fed has been gradually removing money from the general public and giving it to the wealthy. What do you guys think about Mark Yusko's opinion on crypto being the future of money and how Bitcoin will play a role in 2022? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.